Distinguished guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, good day. On the International Day for the Right to the Truth Concerning Gross Human Rights Violations and for the Dignity of Victims, we take real action to honor the memory of human rights defenders such as Archbishop Oscar Romero of El Salvador, who have bravely and significantly contributed to the protection of human rights. We bear in mind the harm caused by every human rights violation in history to avoid repeating it. We must follow the example of the conscientious and righteous people of the past and present and make selfless contributions to human rights protection and social stability. The right to know the truth is guaranteed under Article 32 of Protocol Additional to the Geneva Conventions of 12 August 1949 and relating to the protection of victims of international armed conflicts, Protocol 1, which recognizes the right of families to know the fate of their relatives. In 1999, it was further emphasized that nations must provide appropriate and effective mechanisms for society as a whole, and for the families of victims in particular, to know the truth about gross violations of human rights and international humanitarian law. In 2008, nations were further encouraged to consider establishing specialized judicial mechanisms and, where appropriate, create truth and reconciliation commissions that complement the role of the judicial system to investigate and redress gross violations of human rights and international humanitarian law. Therefore, the right to know the truth is both an individual and a collective right. In addition to the victims and their families, everyone deserves and has the right to know the truth and the far-reaching effects of the human rights violations on individuals, society, and nations, and even on freedom, democracy, human rights, and sustainability of the entire world. Human dignity is sacred and inviolable, and it is the duty of all national institutions to respect and protect it. In accordance with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the ICCPR, the ICESCR, and other relevant international human rights and international humanitarian laws, governments have an obligation to immediately reveal the truth and initiate a process of reconciliation in order to effectively discuss and reflect on the collective consciousness. Truth, reconciliation, and accountability are important safeguards to prevent the recurrence of human rights violations. Restoring the truth is merely the minimum threshold for maintaining dignity. Only when redress is provided to victims and perpetrators are willing to admit their mistakes, atone for their crimes, or are punished, and justice is served, can regrets be mended, and even hatred be resolved, leading to a more stable and sustainable society. During his lifetime, Archbishop Romero was an outspoken advocate for those who had suffered, standing up for them despite the threat of death. Archbishop Romero once wrote in his diary that as a priest, he had no doubt that he had to stand with the people when the powerful were on one side and the poor and vulnerable on the other. In 1980, he was assassinated while celebrating Mass in the chapel. His martyrdom for justice continues to inspire people to fight for freedom, justice, and peace, and he reminded us that the one who has a voice must speak for those who are voiceless. Speaking up will give you more strength. Keeping silent will only deepen the darkness. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stated, "Truth is a powerful light." He added, "When a light of truth is extinguished, societies are plunged into a dark world of threat, lies, and mistrust. By speaking out for truth and justice, we shine a light into the darkness, revealing the evil that the offender is attempting to conceal and exposing the deeper root of the violation, allowing it to be eradicated before it becomes entrenched." According to educator Vasily Skomlinsky, what people can always rely on to be self-sufficient is their own wisdom, conscience, and human dignity. The value and meaning of being human is determined by their hearts, that is, a thought of good or evil. People's good thoughts will lead the world to a bright future, while their evil thoughts will lead the world to destruction. Only with conscience can we have human rights. Only with conscience can we maintain dignity. By following the guidance of their conscience, people become compassionate and wise, so that they will diffuse conflict with wisdom and resolve hatred with communication. By relying on their conscience, they become brave, have the courage to do the right thing, and stand up against injustice. They also have the courage to admit their mistakes and change for the better. This holds true for individuals, societies, and governments. Throughout history, state violence has been the most severe form of violence in the world, and it is said that 9 out of 10 human rights abuses are committed by governments. Whether it was Archbishop Romero's martyrdom for his faith, the Nazi massacre during World War II, or the February 28th incident and the White Terror in Taiwan, all of these events are indelible human rights tragedies and wounds in human history. We must remember the lessons of history so as not to repeat the same mistakes of inflicting human cruelty on one another. All living things are our brothers and sisters. As we are in the same boat, we should join hands, as well as love and help one another to create a beautiful and peaceful home. Those in power should take positive action and show their love for the people. For mistakes that can still be remedied, authorities should immediately restore the truth, redress injustice, set things right, and return to their people the dignity and human rights they deserve. Reformers who are conscientious and courageous will create eternal value for their lives and write an important chapter in the progress of history. I would like to thank you for your kindness and for speaking up bravely. People's refusal to remain silent is a source of justice and a crucial step to promote social harmony and world stability. Your voices of justice are the best blessings to honor this day. Let us walk side by side, working tirelessly to safeguard humanity and human rights. Let us unite and cooperate to bring blessings to nations where justice prevails. May the blessings spread far and wide. May the pandemic and the war end soon, and all living creatures stay safe.